Good evening and welcome to Trophy Club EDC 4B, meeting for July 14th, 2022. I hereby call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., and we have a quorum with 5 members present. First, we have public comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the board on any matter. The board is not permitted to discuss or take action on any presentations made. Presentations are limited to matters over which the board has authority. Speakers have up to 4 minutes or the time limit determined by the presiding officer. Each speaker must have submitted their request to speak by completing the speaker's form, or they may email Anita A. Otterson at TrophyClub.org. Do we have anybody registered to speak today?
Not tonight.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, item 1. We have one item tonight, which all board members have had the time to review prior to tonight's meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last EDC 4B regular session minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Joe makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Terry, thank you very much. I can spell. All right. Moving on to regular.
Mr. Chairman, we need a vote. We had a motion and a second.
Oh, gotcha. All in favor? None opposed? All right. Thank you, Wade. Wanted to jump into regular session too fast. All right, on to regular session. We're going to conduct a public hearing that opens here at 7:02 for the proposed EDC 4B budget for fiscal year 2022 to 2023. Wade, you want to?
Sure, I'll give you a quick review. Oh, goodness, I'll give you a quick review of the budget as it sits, and then if there's anyone in the audience that wants to have public comment, we can open the public hearing at a specific time. So at your position, you'll see the EDC 4B budget for 2023, the proposed budget for 2023. Also gives you the previous years, 2020 through the upcoming years up to 25. The last time we spoke about the budget was preparing for the 22 budget. That would be in late summer of 21. And at that time, we'd just been coming off of COVID, where we had a little dip as we go in our projections for the following year. And we actually estimated our end of year balance at $157,000, partly due because of some money that we needed to move from unassigned fund balance to cover debt reserve. So that move was made this last year, putting us in compliance. And then luckily for the last year and a half, 2 years, we've had some outstanding sales tax returns. Thank you, Amazon. Amazon has been very good to us here in Trophy Club. I'm sure you guys all see the Amazon trucks streaming up and down your streets all day long. So we've had about a 16% increase overall from year to year the last 2 years. So we're very excited about the possibilities that brings upon us as EDC. As you can see, your ending fund balance for EDC looks like at the end of 22, we're estimating it to be $953,000, so we're getting close to that $1 million mark. And in 23, we'll hit the $1 million mark at $1.1 million, which is great news because we do have those 2 parcels left, and we may need some type of an economic development deal to get those parcels developed in the manner that we wish to. So we're excited about that. The other big changes that you'll see in the budget from the previous year, the first is outside professional services. Outside professional services, we're jumping from $15,000 up to $50,000, and that's because of those possible deals. As you guys know, we're working through a couple of those now, right, and some changes that are getting made to an easement agreement, all of which are costing us money in attorney's fees. So that's what that $50,000 is going to be used to be covered attorney's fees for easement agreement changes and any future development deals that we want to put in place. The other major change is actually a decrease. If you notice in the amended budget for 2022 under advertising, we had $35,000, which is generally what we have in there for Jill Lynn to use for us. She helps us. She's our marketing person in town, and she helps put some marketing materials together for the town of Trophy Club through EDC funds. So just looking at historical use in that fund, we decided to lower that by $10,000. We're just not hitting that mark each and every year, so we lowered that to $25,000. Let's see, any other major change? The only other major change is really not a major change, but it is a change that I want to tell you guys about. In the previous budget, we budgeted $1,000 for training and schools, and travel and per diem at $750. We're upping those just a little bit this year because we feel like with these deals coming up, there may be a member or two, the chairperson, or maybe another member that may wish to go to an economic development class or a conference to kind of see what some others are doing. So we budgeted some money available for this board, for a couple of board members to go to get some training. So those are the only major changes to the EDC budget as compared to the previous year. Everything else, as you can see, we've been falling within budget or under budget every single year. So, and we're happy to see that fund balance increase year to year so that we've got some money to work with now.
Okay.
Okay.
Were there any questions from the board?
Mr. Clark?
On the $200,000 or so that goes to debt servicing, can you elaborate on that specifically?
Sure. So the debt service is the payments that we make from EDC through, which end up going to the town. You know what, our finance director is here. I'm going to let Mike come up here because he's going to speak a lot more eloquently to that than I can.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, back in 2015, EDC issued debt as part of the economic development plan that was currently going on, and it was backed by the sales tax. And so your payments work out to about $200,000 a year, and that's all there is to it.
Is that the remainder of the land that we purchased here? As part
Yeah,
of
it
those
was
economic development deals?
just part of that process. And usually, depending on our auditors, we either transfer it to the general fund and transfer it to debt service fund and make a payment, or we make a payment out of the EDC fund. But either way, y'all are paying debt. So
Do you know what the total balance on that debt is remaining by any chance?
it started in 2015. This is just ballpark,
Oh, no,
okay?
that's fine.
Let's say I think the issuance was around 2.5 million.
Okay.
Y'all been paying a little bit over 200,000 for, say, the last 7 or 8 years. So you may be somewhere close to $1 million of it paid off, maybe a little bit more. That's just a ballpark. What we can do is I can sit down and get the actual number, and we'll email it to the EDC tomorrow morning, if
Okay.
that would be okay.
That'd be perfect.
That's much better than a guess.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank y'all.
Any other questions from up here?
Okay.
Thank you, Wade. Anita, do we have anybody signed up for the public hearing?
No, we don't.
Okay. We're going to close the public hearing here at 7:08. And now we're going to move on to item number 3 in the regular session. We're going to take appropriate action regarding the proposed EDC 4B budget for fiscal year 2022 to 2023. We have a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? None opposed?
Quick
All
and
right.
easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. Item number 4, pursuant to the following designated section of the Texas Governmental Code, annotated Chapter 551, Texas Open Meetings Act, the EDC Board will recess into executive session. All right, we are reconvening back into regular session, and the time is now 7:52. We do not have any actionable items from the executive session, so with that, we'll adjourn the meeting here at 7:52.
Thank you.
Thank you.